welcome to this video. Today we're going to unpack a financial mystery that literally traps incredibly responsible people every single day. We're diving right into the story of Daniel. He's a 24-year-old logistics coordinator who genuinely thought he was doing everything right. I mean, he avoided debt, lived super frugally, and tried to be as financially responsible as humanly possible. But in doing all that, he accidentally ruined his credit. Yeah, let's get into it.
Let's start with a text exchange between Daniel and his mom after he got completely blindsided. So, he had just found this perfect two-bedroom apartment in Calgary, applied for it, and the landlord comes back with a hard no. You can literally feel the frustration in his text. "I don't even have any debt. How is my score low?" For Daniel, it felt like a total glitch in the matrix.
Which brings us to the big question of this video. Why exactly was Daniel rejected? How does a guy who pays his rent on time every single month, has a solid emergency fund, pays for things in cash with a debit card, and literally leaves his only credit card tucked safely away in his sock drawer, get denied an apartment?
Well, the answer comes down to a single number, 612. That's his credit score, and it sits solidly in what the credit bureaus call the fair range. But let me tell you, fair is just a very polite industry way of saying lenders and landlords simply do not trust you. They'll either turn you away completely or they're going to make you pay a massive premium just for the privilege of their trust.
To understand Daniel's predicament, we really have to unlearn what we think credit actually is. A credit score is absolutely not a moral judgment on your responsibility with money. Honestly, scratch that whole idea. It is strictly a measure of how predictable you are as a borrower. So avoiding debt completely feels super responsible to us, right? But to a lender, it's actually a massive trap because it makes you entirely unpredictable to them. Section 1. How credit scores work.
So, lenders use a scoring system based on 5 distinct signals to figure out if you'll actually pay them back on time. Payment history is the biggest piece of the pie at 35%. Next up is credit utilization at 30%. That's just how much of your available credit you're actually using. Then we have length of credit history at 15%, credit mix at 10%, and finally new inquiries, which is basically how often you apply for credit, sitting at 10%.
Now, when we grade Daniel against these 5 factors, it becomes glaringly obvious why his credit file looks like a complete ghost to potential lenders. He scores good on payment history and new inquiries because, well, he pays his bills and he doesn't apply for loans. But look at the middle of this. His utilization is poor because his only card is sitting dormant at 0%. His history length is only fair because that card is inactive. And his credit mix? Very poor because he only has that one dormant card. He just isn't giving the system any data to work with.
Section 2. The 6-figure penalty.
Let's look at the math on a mortgage. If Daniel wanted to buy an average $420,000 home in Calgary, his fair score of 612 would drastically inflate his interest rate. Someone with an excellent 780 score might snag a 5.2% rate, paying roughly $2,524 a month. Daniel, with his 612 score, gets hit with a 6.8% rate, pushing his monthly payment up to $2,886. That's an extra $362 flying out of his pocket every single month.
And here's where it really hurts over the long haul. Over a 25-year mortgage, that seemingly small bump in the interest rate cost Daniel an extra $108,600. Let that sink in. He's paying a 6-figure penalty simply because lenders cannot read his credit history.
But you know, this penalty applies everywhere. Even on a basic $32,000 5-year car loan, his low score acts as this invisible tax. A good score gets a 6.5% rate, but Daniel's 612 sticks him with an 11.9% rate. That costs him an additional $5,520 in pure interest, just money completely out the window. And the punishment doesn't stop at borrowing either. A low score can impact nearly every facet of modern adult life. I mean, it leads to those rental rejections, exactly like Daniel experienced. In some places, it even triggers higher auto and home insurance rates. It can raise major red flags for employment, especially in financial sectors or jobs requiring a security clearance. It even means you might have to pay heavy upfront deposits just to get a standard cell phone plan. It's wild.
Section 3. The rebuilding blueprint.
So, how do we fix it? Daniel executed these highly intentional steps to create a visible, positive credit history without breaking his frugal, zero-debt lifestyle. Step 1. He took that dormant card right out of the sock drawer and put his $11 monthly Spotify bill on it. Step 2. He set it to autopay the full balance every single month. Boom. Zero interest ever. Step 3.
At month 6, he requested a limit increase to $2,000, which instantly improved his utilization ratio. Step 4. At month 9, he strategically opened a second no-fee card strictly for groceries to improve his credit mix. And step 5, he signed up for a rent reporting service so his perfect on-time rent payments finally became visible to the credit bureaus.
But the absolute most crucial final ingredient in this entire strategy? Just doing nothing and waiting. He had to let his clean, predictable history compound. He didn't impulsively apply for anything new, he just let the system observe his consistent, reliable behavior over months and months.
And by following this exact blueprint, Daniel rapidly climbed the credit ladder. At month 0, he was sitting at 612. By month 6, after getting his limit increase, he hit 658. By month 12, with rent reporting active, he broke 700. In just 18 months, he gained 136 points to reach a 748. That's a very good score that opens doors to the absolute best preferred rates.
Section 4. Busted myths and final takeaways.
Okay, we really have to dismantle these toxic myths right now. Myth 1. Zero debt equals a good score. False. You actually need to use credit to build a score. Myth 2. Using credit means going into debt. Again, totally false. Paying your full balance every month means zero interest ever. The card is literally just a tool. Myth 3. Your score fixes itself. Nope, false. It requires intentional action. And myth 4. Only banks can see your score. Completely false. You can check your own score for free using tools like Borrowell or Credit Karma without hurting your score at all.
The overarching lesson from this entire video is this. A credit score isn't a measure of how good you are with money, it's a measure of how legible you are to lenders. If you refuse to play the game, if you hide that card in the drawer, you pay the price, whether you meant to or not. Avoidance is heavily, heavily penalized in the system.
So, I want to leave you with this question. Are you intentionally building your credit, or are you accidentally paying a massive 6-figure penalty? Take 15 minutes today, pull your score for free, look at your own 5 factors, and take action. Put that one small subscription on autopay, get your credit hygiene in order today. And hey, get ready, because in our next video, we're diving into the emotionally charged, hidden financial secrets of marriage. You definitely won't want to miss it.